Hey YouTube, it is Christine with gaugegirltraining, an online meal planning and coaching service. Your girl's a food scientist, chemical engineer, and I am here tonight to talk to you all about a really important topic, and that is how I lost 25 pounds, the truth, the mistakes, what actually worked. Now, I realized I have been a bad YouTuber and I've not been creating new content for a little while. And that's okay because I have been recalibrating. Hello, welcome everybody. I've been recalibrating my nervous system, my intentions for this year, and my relationship with social media and how I plan to use it for my business. And I wanted to just get on here and share with you guys a bit of what's been going on, how I lost this 25 pounds, the real truth, the mistakes I made, and what actually worked. And if you guys have been following my channel for any length of time, thank you for your support over the years. Really appreciate you all. I am grateful that you guys are here watching live. And if you're here because you've tried everything, you've been dieting, you've been working out, you've been cutting carbs, you've been cutting calories, and your body still won't cooperate, this live stream is for you. And I would love it if you guys would take 2 seconds to give this live stream a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithms here on YouTube, so I'd really appreciate that. The thing is, I lost 25 pounds and it's not really in the way people think. And what I mean by that, a lot of things, there's a lot you can do to lose weight. You be in your caloric deficit, you can lift your weights, you can do all your things. But in order to making that stick, I think that a lot of times people make fat loss harder than it needs to be. And it's really easy to overcomplicate this. It's really easy to get stressed out and overwhelmed. And what I want to say first is that we need to normalize the struggle with fat loss. And if you feel like your body is fighting you, I want you guys to know that you're not broken. I want you guys to know that you're not lacking discipline. And you could do all the right things like I did. I would restrict harder. I would work out more, and I would try to be perfect. Who here watching this? Oh, hey, what's up, Deanna? Who watching this feels like when you try to lose weight, you try to be perfect? And when I say perfect, meaning you want to check off every box. You want to drink your water, do your workout, do your steps, hit your macros, check. And that level of perfection that you hold yourself to, it's a very steep cliff. And meaning when you set yourself up for a standard of perfection, it's really easy to be disappointed. And that backfired. And that has backfired for me several times over the years. It can be effective in short bursts, but the thing is, fat loss isn't just about calories. It's about how your body responds to stress, how your body responds to food, and how your body responds to consistency. Now, with that being said, how many of you guys know that the way your body responds to stress, the way your mind and life is set up for consistency, stress and consistency are two big foundational components of the fat loss equation that are not cut and dry things. Stress ebbs and flows, right? Same with consistency. It can ebb and flow. And when either of those are a loose variable that can't be really pinned down, that's when things start getting a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to tell you what didn't work. I'm going to tell you guys what didn't work because I know a lot of you guys are still here. I appreciate you all being here. And if you're just joining the live stream, Christine Hronik, food scientist and chemical engineer, talking about how I lost 25 pounds. And I'm going to tell you that if you are eating too little to speed things up, that doesn't work. I've tried it. It doesn't work. High intensity workouts. If you are stressed out of your damn mind and you're setting yourself up for these really hard workouts that are going to elevate your cortisol even more, that's not going to work out. If you are aggressively cutting carbs and you don't have a reason to, meaning you're not a fat-fueled macro type, you don't have type 2 diabetes, you don't have any like logical reason why you need to be eating low carb and you're just doing it just because, that can be extremely difficult and something that doesn't work. And I did not cut carbs during this process. I've had some lower carb days in general, but for the most part, I've had carbohydrates every day during this journey. The next thing is being inconsistent. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, and you need to have a plan that fits you. Treating fat loss like punishment as opposed to feedback. And every time I would try to force fat loss, my body would just kind of like rebel and push back further. So the shift that changed everything for me was I stopped chasing extremes. And it wasn't like a on the wagon, off the wagon thing. I had more of a steady stream of consciousness throughout the journey where I would say, okay, you know what? I am going to, if for whatever reason I fell off or I ate a meal that wasn't like optimal, what I would do is I would reset as soon as the next meal. No guilt, no shame, and I would stop bringing in that baggage of, oh my goodness, I'm behind. Oh, I should have done better during this. Who watching this can say that because you have chased extremes, it made it something that was like almost impossible for you to like get some traction and consistency because you're like, you know what, I have to do this perfect. But I became comfortable resetting as soon as the next meal. And even if that meant 1, 2, 3 times a week, and I would be in that headspace. And I appreciate your honesty. The Nayela Bean, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I made sure I ate enough. I didn't diet harder. I didn't guess. And once my body trusted food again, fat loss became possible. And I want to explain to you guys exactly how I did that. Awesome, girl. And just thank you all for being here tonight. It's Christine with gaugegirltraining. And I have not been present in a meaningful way on the Gauge Girl socials because I just needed to make sure that my nervous system regulation has been my #1 priority. And hey, Teresa, and when I say that, what I mean by that is I refuse to pour from an empty cup. I will not do it anymore. I won't do it. I will not do it. It is a bad habit that I have had in the past where I would be burnt out. I would have nothing left to give inside of me, but yet I would give and give and give and give and give. And managing and metering my energy. So when I show up for you guys, like how I'm here tonight, I'm coming to you guys from a place of abundance. I'm coming to you from a place of overflow because I can pour into you guys right now because I am well and because I am whole and because I am solid. So here is what I did specifically to lose 25 pounds. And I want to remind you guys, I turned 44 this January, so I am not coming at you as a 20-something being like, oh, I just did this. Guys, my hormones are changing just like everybody else's, and I deal with the same hormonal challenges that women in their 40s face. And what I started doing was, hey, Joanna, I made sure to prioritize protein and fiber. Protein and fiber were non-negotiables. Protein with every single meal as the foundation of my meal to what? Stabilize my blood sugar, stabilize my cravings and energy without white knuckling it. And if at any point I caught myself in that white knuckle phase, you guys know what I'm talking about when you're trying to lose body fat, you want to be in a deficit. Oh, thank you, Gloria. I appreciate you. My birthday was January 8th, and I cannot believe, thank you, friends. Can't believe we're in February already. I feel like I just blinked, like it was like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and like here we are. But I digress. How I felt was equally as important as the results. Who here has chased results in the sense of you're like, I will just grin and bear it, I will suck it up, I will lose the weight, and I will get to that point. And you think that getting to that point is the end all be all. But the thing is, if you are miserable, if you are fatigued, if your energy is trash, if you're you don't have damn bad posture. I think a lot of us feel that way with the days going by. Sorry, it's been a while. You lost your house. Oh, dear Lord. I'm so sorry to hear that, but living in an extended stay suite, you got a very small fridge and a burner stove, no oven, but a microwave, anything you can do. There's a lot you could do. I would definitely start with maybe some hard-boiled eggs. I would do maybe some tuna salad. I would say tuna salad, like I would take some canned tuna, maybe some avocado mayo, hard-boiled eggs. Those would be really good. You could utilize like the veggies and carbs of your choice, but in that case, I would make maybe some tuna salad, some hard-boiled eggs. Do you have a fridge? A small fridge? That would definitely help as well. I would also maybe try some wraps and non-perishable things. As far as your workouts go, I would really focus on walking, movement, and body weight exercises that you can do with what you have access to. So, girl, I would say try to get some steps in, and I would focus on body weight, push-ups, sit-ups, body weight squats, like dips on the edge of a bed or a chair. Now, like I said, protein and fiber have been foundational to my meals, but it's more than that, friends. I don't want to feel tired and sluggish. So I want you guys to ask yourself, when you eat something, even if you're about to eat some nonsense or some BS, think about how you are going to feel afterwards. Does that make sense? Like, I didn't want to eat super starchy meals and super like snacky snacks, like with the sugars and things, because I know afterwards I'm gonna feel tired. I know the next day I'm gonna feel bloated. I know the next day, like, I'm gonna have like, has anyone here ever had a food hangover? You know what I'm talking about, where you've just ate so much food, more than you should have, especially if you go higher in sugar over the holidays or a special occasion, or just because you fell off the wagon. A food hangover is the worst. You lost 52 pounds. You want to gain muscle and avoid loose skin cellulite advice. You want to stop taking the GLP-1. I've helped many people reverse off of GLP-1s. There's a very targeted approach you want to take. You want to be very high protein. You want to be getting, to come off of that stuff, you want to be getting at least 35 to 40 grams of protein per meal. You definitely want to manage and stabilize your blood sugar as well. You may also want to set up a complimentary discovery call with me, because you would probably do best with a custom meal plan where I could really dial that in for you. You have that hangover every other day, the food hangover. And I'm glad you brought that up, because you have to truly start asking yourself, how does this make me feel? And I started getting very focused on romanticizing the act of nourishment. Does that make sense? When I make myself a meal, I romanticize it in the sense that I get to eat these healthy foods. When I have salmon and my sweet potatoes and my spinach, or my boyfriend makes me a nice steak for dinner, and I have like these opportunities to just be nourished and feel good and eat a meal and feel satiated. Like, guys, I want you guys to start chasing that feeling of nourishment. Start asking yourself, how am I going to feel after I eat this? And the reality is, there are other things that you can eat that are going to be just as tasty, just as satisfying, that are not going to make you feel like trash afterwards. Can I get a DM or on a call how to adapt your new temporary normal? Absolutely. You guys, shoot me a DM, book your complimentary discovery call. I do have limited spots available, but they are available, and I would be happy to talk to you. So please, complimentary discovery calls are available. All you have to do is shoot me a DM on Instagram to get the link, or you guys can go to my website, gaugegirltraining.com, and there is a place on there where you can book your free call. You do have to fill out the form, but it's very simple to do, and I do have spots available. So anybody watching this, and if you don't feel like typing your issue out here on the screen, please know we can connect personally, and I would love that. I started training smarter, not harder. weight training is a struggle for me. And you would think, Christine, you used to do bodybuilding, you used to do fitness competitions. Um, like like guys, when I did all that stuff, I do it for a result, but weight training in and of itself has never really been a lifestyle for me, if that makes sense. And I say this because um, I've never been an athlete. I've never seen, you love your video. Is that a double chin? That is hilarious. And I'm glad that you appreciate the humor that I've been injecting onto the shorts, because sometimes life can be so heavy and weight loss can be so hard that we just need to laugh. And you feel exactly like that. You celebrate too much with eating. I'm thin. You're just hard on yourself. And I completely understand that, guys. Like, we need to focus on how is this going to make me feel? And that's something that I really want you guys to start thinking about, because that act of mindfulness with how is this going to make me feel? Am I going to be lethargic? Am I going to have the ability to focus and concentrate? How am I going to feel? Is a very important question I want you to ask yourself. Walking was always easy for me. I have a treadmill at home. I love walking. I love getting steps. How do you guys feel about steps? Guys, walking at a slow pace is the most underrated thing you can do for your fat loss, my friends. It is so underrated. You don't have to go fast. You don't have to go hard. Just do it, guys. And I would push myself to make sure I would be getting my steps. And was every day perfect? No, it was not. But on average, I would always just go to that, and it helped me. It wasn't aggressive. It was something I enjoyed. And while I would be getting my steps, you guys, I would work on either emails, content. What is a realistic timeline for anyone to transition off the DLP-1? In my experience, I would say if you apply a focused 6 weeks, that is going to be right about where you need to be, about a focused 6 weeks. If I would tell you anything shorter, you're going to rebound. You're going to rebound. So with minimal rebound, and I've had a client recently come off of them 100% with stable energy, feeling good, no cravings, and all that kind of stuff. So Mary Chica, I hope I'm saying your screen name correct. Book a complimentary discovery call. We'll talk through it if you have any concerns, because there is a very strategic approach you do want to take, so it makes sense to your life, and so that you're not just stuck here with all these crazy cravings. Because if you just kind of try to wean off of it on your own without a system, it's going to be very challenging. The next one is I respected stress and hormones. This is a big piece of my sustained fat loss. So sleep, recovery, as well as consistency. Those 3 things mattered way more to me than perfection. Again, I want to repeat that because this is important. Strength, recovery, and consistency. I valued the consistency of my routine. I valued the consistency of my meal timing. Marishka. Perfect, girl. Marishka. Oh, Marishka. Got you. Yeah, no problem. I will, and I see you, a bunch of you guys DMing to get on the call list. I'm happy to do it. So the thing is, friends, fat loss became the byproduct of my regulation. Does that make sense? And it became easy. It became so easy when I manufactured fat loss as a byproduct of regulating my stress, regulating my routine, regulating my movement. And as a result of this, you guys, I have literally shifted my whole philosophy about fat loss, and it needs to come from a core of nervous system regulation. Yes, you need your macros, and yes, all those things are important, and I can dial all of those things in for you guys. But what I would say that the majority of folks need is regulation. nervous system regulation, a foundation that isn't going to have you spiraling into burnout. I lost about 25 pounds. And the thing is, you guys, I come to you guys as somebody who has successfully lost body fat in many ways. You guys know I have been under 10% body fat at different points in my life. I have been fit, I have been lean, I have won competitions, all that kind of stuff. But what I want to say to you guys is that does not matter if at the end of the day, your mental health is compromised. And how many of you guys, and this is where I want to get very real with you guys, how many of you guys have underlying issues like stress, like compromised mental health, like a dysregulated nervous system that has you reaching for sugar and alcohol and just comfort as a release and an escape from your real everyday life? And if you feel like food has become an escape, maybe to numb emotions, maybe to not confront uncomfortable things in life, and I really appreciate that, friends. If you're not regulated mentally, no amount of dieting is going to stick. Does that make sense? And I dedicate 2026 to nervous system regulation. I know for a fact that at least 80% of you watching this right now probably use food as a crutch when you are stressed. It's normal. A lot of people do it, but just because it's normal and it's common doesn't mean it's something you need to stick with. I want to teach you all how to eat in a way that supports healing your nervous system. And I don't care how small your waist is, I don't care how much you weigh, if your nervous system is dysregulated, you don't have anything. And that's a very big theme I'm going to be teaching you guys this year. And if you guys want to learn more about my comeback story from a place of deep burnout, I've actually identified 5 different types of burnout, because you could be a type of burnout where your adrenals are gone. You could be the type of burnout where metabolically your body's non-responsive. You could be the type of burnout where you are dealing with deep-seated trauma and you are emotionally spent. Maybe you could be dealing with there's different levels of burnout. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if your mental health is compromised, hormonally, you need to get regulated. And you have to remember the brain hormones, the hormones that impact your brain. Because when we think of hormones, we think estrogen, we think testosterone. But listen, there's different types of burnout. And if your dopamine and your serotonin, these are the feel-good, happy chemicals in your brain. If your serotonin and your dopamine are dysregulated, what's your body going to do? You're going to have sugar cravings. So check this out. You could be experiencing a sugar craving not because you are physically hungry, but because your brain and your mind and your just overall person and well-being is craving pleasure. Your body is craving joy. Your body's craving happiness. And if you don't have any form of peace, joy, happiness, funneling into your life, and you don't have any of that positive thing coming into your life, guess what? Neurologically, your neurohormones are dysregulated. So dysregulated neurohormones can show up as this in the form of a sugar craving. So you could be craving sugar and you're not even hungry. How many of you guys have literally just been like, you know what? I want sugar. I want a cookie. I want ice cream. I want a milk dud. I want a Swedish fish. Whatever fills that thing for you, that sugar craving could have nothing to do with hunger, nothing to do with nothing, but your brain is seeking dopamine. And what's going to happen when you eat that? You're going to get a dopamine spike in your brain. So the question is, if you have always regulated your neurohormones with sugar, guess what? You have just created a loop in your body that it's always going to do that. So the bigger question becomes, how do you regulate your neurohormones without sugar? There's ways to do it. How do you regulate those brain chemicals without alcohol? And it's a very important question to ask, because once you find the answer to that, sugar and alcohol and the impact of that on your weight and your body fat and all of that stuff. Because guess what, guys? Let's be real. And I don't mean to sound vain, but how many of you can say for a fact that weight gain impacts your confidence? It impacts how you feel about yourself. It impacts how you move through life. It impacts how you move about your day. And when you're not feeling confident and comfortable in your skin, that's going to make you feel depressed. It's going to make you feel down. And I don't say that from like a vain perspective. I mean it from like more of a self-love perspective. So if this is resonating with you guys, I would love it if you would all take 2 seconds to give this live stream a thumbs up. That if you never buy a program from me in any capacity, just give the live stream a thumbs up, because it really helps me out here. And I want you guys to realize that regulating your neurohormones and your serotonin and dopamine needs are very real. And I see too many folks ignoring that, especially women. How many of you, especially if you're a female watching this, and this applies to men as well, but how many of you guys have caught yourself in a position where you're putting the well-being of a loved one before yourself? Who has been stuck in that loop? Whether that's your children, whether that's your partner, whether that's a family member, whether that's your employer, whether that's it's just someone else is getting the priority of your life, the priority of your energy. And I know for a fact that because so many of you guys habitually do that, you put the well-being of everybody else before yourself, guess what? Balance prevents burnout. And that is my theme for 2026. Balance prevents burnout. And what does that mean? What are you doing to ignite the dopamine and serotonin in your brain in a positive way that pours into you? For me, I found myself in this last year in music. For those of you guys who didn't know, I am the lead singer in a rock band. It's something I do for fun. It is a very healthy outlet for me. And that has been pivotal in my fat loss journey, because I get the nervous system regulation from singing. I get the nervous system regulation from my artwork. I'm a painter. And I've made time for these things that give me healthy dopamine. Now, some of you guys may just like to listen to music. Maybe some of you guys like to do crafts. I have a client who's into quilting. I have another one, she's really into crocheting. I have another one who's really into reading and books. Friends, it's so important that your whole day and your whole life is not just macros. It's not just what do I weigh on the scale, that you have things that are fueling regulation. And I want you guys to think about that. What types of things are in your life that bring you joy that have nothing to do with food? And when I ask people that question, I said, what in your life brings you joy that has nothing to do with food? And people sometimes stop and they're like, that's a great question. You run, you do free weights, and you listen to music, and those are wonderful things. And you have your kids, and I think that's fantastic. I encourage you guys to cultivate your interests, cultivate things that pour into you. You literally have no hobbies. And I'm going to give you a really good place to start if you don't have hobbies. It's going to sound really weird, but I challenge everybody to find music that resonates with you. Whatever genres of music you like, music is one of the most healing things you could welcome into your life, whether you like classical music, country music, rap, R&B, hip hop, rock, metal, whatever you like, jazz. Like, I encourage you guys to utilize music as a healing medium and Music will lead you to all kinds of great things. You hear that no hobbies comment a lot, and we're gonna change that, guys. We're gonna change that this year. So thank you all for spending time with me this evening. My next challenge, the 42 Hard Challenge, is open for enrollment. We have an early bird discount. I would love it if you guys would join this next challenge with me. It starts, I believe, on March 3rd, and the winner of this challenge will be flown out to meet me personally. I cannot wait to meet you, whoever you are, future winner. But guys, join the challenge. You're going to get support on your nutrition. You're going to get support with the training. We have a weekly group Zoom call. You have community. It's going to just be a really great opportunity for you to get these things dialed in within a supportive community. We also have our Indole 3 Carbonol back in stock. For those of you guys who follow my channel for the hormone health knowledge and information, Indole 3 Carbonol is one of the best things to support estrogen dominance. And for any of you guys who have that hormonal belly, that stubborn lower belly that does not go away, the Indole 3 Carbonol is great for that. So that's back in stock. We do have a sale happening on the supplement site, gaugelife.com, gaugelife.com. So make sure you check that out. But friends, thanks for being here tonight. For everybody who scheduled your discovery call, I will be responding to you so we can get you booked. And if anyone here watching tonight wants a complimentary discovery call, message me at gaugegirltraining on Instagram. And guys, before you leave, if you forgot, please give the live stream a thumbs up. I really motivated you. You were going to get serious tomorrow, and I love that. God bless everyone. Have a great night, and I'll see you later.